अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna, welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita study group. Thank you all for joining. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're studying the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. We'll go through a quick recap. The chapter started with Arjun asking Krishna, Ki Krishna, what is better? Impersonal worship or personal worship? Right? So Krishna ekdam pyar se tells him ki both the paths that you choose, whichever path you choose, the ultimate aim is me. You will most definitely reach me. But impersonal worship is full of adhika klesha, a lot of trouble. But when you worship my personal form, right, you very quickly get attached to my form. You know, I have such a beautiful, attractive form. I have so many pastimes that I have performed when I was here in Golok, in Vrindavan, in Mathura, in Dwarka. So you will start to relate with me very easily. So when we connect with the personal form of the Lord, we're able to progress on the path of bhakti very quickly. The Lord himself comes. He makes a promise. Na chirat. Very quickly, without any delay, I will come and deliver you if you're constantly thinking of me. Right? I will come and pick you up from this ocean of material existence. Okay? So Krishna says that, well, it's not very easy to constantly keep, yourself focused on me. So he gives us a lot of choices. So the ultimate goal is what? Fixing our mind and intelligence on Krishna. But if that is not directly possible, then Krishna says, perform sadhana bhakti. Right? Follow all the rules and regulations that Guru Sadhu Shastra tell us to do. Wake up early, chant attentively, do strict sadhana. Essentially do everything that will forcibly keep your mind and intelligence focused on Krishna. But at our current stage, if that sounds like a little too much, Krishna says, don't worry, don't be disheartened. I have another option for you. Do some work in spreading my name. Right? Do some work directly for me. Distribute my books, cook prasad, make garlands, stitch clothes, right? Clean vessels in the temple, collect donation for me, raise funds from your family and friends, right? So many sevas are available. Do anything that works for you. But if even that is not possible, then sarva karma phalatyagam. Give up the results of your work. In our modern day, when we work, we get money. So that money that we get, let us offer a part of that money to Krishna in his seva. So, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Right? Krishna explains that this is a very good option because it gives us peace. Right? It somehow connects us to the Supreme Lord. So when we started, he said, impersonalist way is harder than personalist. So impersonalist means doing Dhyan Yoga, doing Jnana Yoga. Right? So Krishna says, well, at the bottom is Jnana Yoga, the toughest to do. So better than that is Dhyana Yoga. Sit down and meditate on me. But better than that, way better and easier than that is Karma Phal ka Tyag. Karma Phal ke Tyag se bhi better hai directly doing karma for Krishna. Usse bhi better hai doing our sadhana bhakti, which Guru always recommends that we do. And the best, the final goal is for us to offer our man and buddhi directly to Krishna. Complete surrender. Right? So are you with me so far? That completes what we had done till last week. Okay? So it's very clear that all of us need to surrender to the Supreme Lord. But obviously, it's not an easy task. It's like climbing Mount Everest. But now, after reading so much and after hearing so much, we also feel, you know what, I really want to be free from this Mrityu Samsar ka Sagar. Right? And Krishna knows that I want to try. So again, he helps us. In these final 8 verses that we're going to study today, Krishna is going to list out every single quality that he wants us to imbibe. Right? The qualities that he would love to see in his devotees. So what we need to do is try and cultivate these qualities. Okay? If we want to offer our man and buddhi to Krishna, if we want to go back to Krishna's dham, if we want to go back to Golok Vrindavan, then we need to make an effort to cultivate these specific qualities. Ere gere ke liye there will be no entrance in Bhagavad Dham. Only the best are allowed. Right? And therefore Krishna sings this Bhakta Ashtakam. 8 verses about how a Bhakta should be. Right? So this is what we're going to actually try and imbibe. Now these verses can be done in great depth, but I'm going to do them as simply as possible. Because these verses are not about talking a lot. It's about actually imbibing. Pay very, very close attention. Highlight the quality that is easy for you to better. Maybe underline the quality that you slowly, steadily try and practice. And some qualities may be very, very difficult for us. We should always start with what is the simplest. Today we'll actually realize that bhakti is very simple, but it is not easy. Right? So we have to make a promise to ourselves that we will introspect. We will ponder over these qualities. Right? We will very honestly analyze our own behavior, and then we will try and make the necessary changes. This is the purpose of studying the Bhagavad Gita. Right? Because Krishna is very clearly telling us, this is the kind of person I want you to be. Right? Please understand there is a learning model. Right? Janu Mataji had shared with us a learning model. A holistic learning model involves our head, our heart and our hands. Okay? Now with our head, with our intellect, we listen to all the verses. Right? We're studying the scripture. With our heart, we need to use our emotional intelligence and understand these qualities that Krishna is talking about. And then with our hands, right? With our hands, our legs, our body, we need to actually action these qualities. Only when we do that together will we be able to improve as human beings. Just information and no transformation is not helpful at all. Right? We will just be bookishly very intelligent, but we would not have improved as human beings. Right? So let's start with verse 13. Please repeat after me. Adveshta sarva bhutanam Maitrah karuna eva cha. Nirmamo nirahankarah. Sama dukkha sukha kshami. Santushta satatam yogi. Yatatma dhruda nischayah. Mayyarpita mano buddhir. Yo madbhakta same priyah.
One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence is fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me.
Wonderful, thank you. Look at the last bit. Yo mad bhakta same priyah. Such a bhakta is very dear to me. Right? And so Krishna has explained what are the qualities that a bhakta should have so that he becomes very dear to me. Right? We need to pay close attention and listen to the qualities that you and me need to cultivate so that Krishna will say कि वो जो नरुला आंटी है, I like her very much because she has these qualities. Right? वो जो उमा जी है, she has these qualities and therefore she is very priya to me. Right? Rashmi, Reshma, Priya, Mayuri, Rajeshri. When Krishna looks down at you, he should be able to say, wow, she has imbibed the qualities that I like so much and therefore I love her very, very much and I will take her back home with me. Right? So the first, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. Dvesh. Dvesh means envy. Dvesh is that feeling we have when somebody else has something and we want it. किसी वस्तु के लिए ईर्षा. Desiring what an other person has. Right? So if my neighbor has a new car, or my friend has a fancy job, or my friend gets a beautiful gift from her husband, or if her child gets better marks than my child, or if her kid is better behaved than mine, or if she's just booked a fancy Europe holiday, whatever, right? There are so many things. Every day as we go through life, we will always find somebody who has it better. And at that time, we feel a sense of bitterness towards that person, right? That feeling of wanting to be in the same situation as that person. The feeling of wanting something that that person has, right? That jealousy, that envy, that is dvesh, irsha. That person is more blessed than I am. That person has better achievements than I am. Right? So envy is very, very human. And when we feel envy, we need to start explaining to ourselves that what I have is according to my karma. What they have is according to theirs. Right? Krishna knows best. He has given me what is best for me in this current situation. Right? So we need to be very affirmative in life. I'm very thankful for what I have. Feel a lot of gratitude for what I have. I have everything that I need. Right? I'm very content with all that I have. So the only way to actually fight envy is to start focusing on the positive things in my life. Repeatedly thanking God for everything that we have will slowly move us to that segment where we experience gratitude for everything. And slowly and steadily we will truly start becoming happy for other people when they get something. Envy has to be replaced with, I am so happy for you. Right? We need to understand that God is very, very generous. He's given me the absolute best that He could based on my own karmas. Right? So, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. First thing Krishna says, get rid of Dvesh and replace that with, look at the next two words, Maitri Karuna. Maitriya. Be a friend to everyone. And Karuna. Have a lot of compassion, a lot of kindness, a lot of gentleness towards everyone. Right? So when we remove Dvesh from our hearts, we need to fill that space with compassion, with kindness, with friendliness. We need to understand that all of us are children of God. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We need to start implementing that in our own lives. So the first thing says, get rid of envy. The next one says, become friendly and be kind to everyone. Next line. Nirmamo nirahankaraha sama dukkha sukha kshami. So nirmamo. Aham mameti is what ties us in this world. Aham, I. Mameti, mine. I and mine. Right? I am so great, all of this belongs to me. This is mine. This is what actually keeps us tied up in this material world. What Krishna is telling us is nirmamo. Nahi, ye mera nahi hai. Nothing belongs to me. No sense of proprietorship. And that is why it's very, very important for us to have a Bhagwan Ji ka mandir in the house. To understand that everything is owned by him. है ना? उनका है सब कुछ और मैं जो भी ऑफर कर रही हूं तेरा तुझको अर्पण. Understanding that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, it has been put in my custody for a short period of time. And in that time, I need to do everything in my capacity to do my duty, right? With a lot of love, but not get attached to anything. That is nirmamo. Very important quality. We find it hard to share, right? We're raising these single children in our homes who can't even share their toys. Whereas we need to reach a point in our lives where nothing belongs to me. In my custody for a short period of time and will be returned back to the Supreme. Okay? So nirmamo. Nirahankaraha. Ahankar is ego. Krishna is saying, for God's sake, why do you have this ego? The biggest enemy of devotion is ego, pride. Right? If we want to progress on the spiritual path, then first thing we need to give up is our big fat ego. Bhakti requires us to be humble. The Bible has a very beautiful line. It says, be humble and never think that you're better than anyone else. Remember, for dust you are and dust you shall return. Right? Dust you are and to dust you shall return. Think about this. All of us. What is our ultimate end? When this body is gone, what are we going to become? Either राख or मिट्टी or विष्टा. अगर हमको जलाया गया तो राख बनेंगे, दफनाया गया तो मिट्टी, और अगर चील कौवों ने खाया तो विष्टा, stool. Nothing else, right? Our ultimate destination, this material body ka ultimate destination is only one of these three choices, nothing else. So what are we proud of? The first time I heard this, I was like, oh my God, right? Just what exactly are we proud of? So Krishna says, nirmamo nirahankaraha. Next, sama dukkha sukha kshami. Dukkha. When do we get dukkha? When the conditions are unfavorable. Sukh, when there are favorable conditions. Krishna says, be sama in both. Be equipoised. When there is dukkha, understand that these miseries are coming because of my own past karmas. These miseries are actually a gift from God. They are helping me purify myself. Right? And when there is happiness, we need to understand that we are experiencing those happy moments because Krishna is so kind. He's so merciful. So automatically we need to get to a point of no ego and sama dukkha sukha. Essentially what Krishna is telling us is, don't become too elated in favorable situations and don't become too miserable in miserable situations. Always remember that golden phase, this too shall pass. Right? Whether it is happiness or it is sadness, this too shall pass. Yes, Rajeshri, you have a question, dear?
I don't have a question, Varsha. Whatever you talked about Asia, so class 7th में there was a chapter, Asia Tu Na Gayi Mere Man Se, by Ramdhari Singh Dinkar. So it reminded me of that lesson and you have explained beautifully. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Okay. So what we were doing is Sukha and Dukh, right? What we need to understand is the problem is not with Sukh or Dukh. The issue is how we respond to these. If we have faith that only effort is in my hand, results are in the hands of God, right? Then whatever results come our way, we will be able to see it as the will of God. And then we will be able to be Sama Dukha Sukha, right? Maine apna 100% de diya. Now it's up to him. Whatever he gives, I accept, right? So then I will not feel too elated or too depressed. And that last word there, Kshami, tolerant, forgiving, Kshama Karna, very high level quality. When someone hurts you, when someone says horrible things to you, right? It's very human to get angry. But Krishna says, no, do not harbor anger. Do not get that feeling of, isse to main badla lungi. Kshami, very, very difficult, but Krishna is saying, forgive. Don't have any negative feelings, right? Why are you disturbing your peace of mind? Whatever insults he has given is to your body. And if you've understood that I am not this body, then why is it bothering you? Right? Let Krishna take care of him. Let law of karma take care of him. You don't try and take care of him. Right? So, you do your best. You stay equipoised and you don't harbor negative emotions. Make sense? Alright. Verse number 14. Santushta satatam yogi yatatma dhrudanischayah mayyarpita manobuddhir yo madbhakta same priyah.
Where am I supposed to read from, Varsha? I'm sorry.
9th verse. No. This is not the 9th verse. This is the 14th verse.
14.
Didn't we read that? It is 13 and 14 together, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so I just repeated that. Okay, so I'll take it from here. I'll just explain them. Thank you, Reshma.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, we did 13 and 14 recitation together. Okay, I forgot that. Okay, Santushta Satatam Yogi. Satatam, वो योगी कैसा है? संतुष्ट है. He's always satisfied. Why? Because he's connected to Krishna. Right? So, there's a verse in the Bhagavatam which says, if you are wearing the correct shoes, then it does not matter कि रास्ते में चींटियाँ आए या thorns आए या pebbles आए या बहुत सारा कीचड़ आए, no problem. Nothing disturbs you because you have protected your feet. Right? So, if we are connected with God through bhakti, then we've shielded ourselves. We've created this whole insulation around ourselves. We've protected ourselves. And then nothing disturbs us. What we experience is santushta, satisfaction, and sattatam, always. Make sense? So what we need to do is we need to insulate ourselves. We can't go and try and change everybody around us in the world. We need to protect ourselves. So wear the right shoes so that nothing pricks you. Krishna is essentially saying, if you are connected with me, then everything will become auspicious. Everything will give you happiness and you will experience the sense of satisfaction. Yatatma. Yata Atma. When your Atma is under your own control. So you're a self-controlled person. When you don't get swayed, when you don't get carried away, right? That is Yatatma. Your senses, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, our man, buddhi, ahankar, when all of this is under our control. Right? So how can we control our senses? First, how can we control our senses, our Jnanendriyas? Param Drishtva Nivartate. By giving them better engagement. Right? So many WhatsApp forwards tell us this, right? When your travel has God at the center, it becomes a yatra. When you cook and first offer it to God, it becomes prasad. When you sing and you sing God's glories, it becomes kirtan. है ना? So all we do is keep God at the center and our senses get better engagement. Right? Then how do we purify our man? Manah trayate iti mantraha. So by doing a lot of mantra chanting, nama smaran, a lot of jap. How do we get our buddhi under control? Buddhi by studying the scriptures. Okay? By shravanam and by kirtanam. By listening and by speaking. So when we do a lot of abhyas, when we actually read the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, whatever scripture, that purifies our intelligence. And how do we purify our ahankar? Anybody? Seva. Perfect. The one way to purify our ego. Our ego is the biggest deterrent on our path of the spiritual progress. What we need to do is take on seva. Serve. Right? So if I want to be yatatma, if I want to have my man, buddhi, ahankar under my control, then I need to do mantra chanting, I need to study the scriptures, and most important, I need to do seva. Serve without expecting anything in return. Okay, next word, dhruda nischayah, with determination. Nischay karna chahiye. Whatever I want to do in my spiritual life, I need to be very, very determined. See, I love watching movies, right? So when I think I want to watch a particular movie, then I do whatever it takes to pull out time and go watch that movie. Right? If I want to go eat at a particular restaurant, then yena kena prakarena, I will do whatever is required and I'll land up there and enjoy that delicious meal. Correct? Applies to all of us? But tell me honestly, how many times have we made this commitment, you know what, I want to by heart that shlok. Right? How many times we've thought कि यार रोज भगवद गीता पढ़नी ही चाहिए. And how many times we say कि यार time ही नहीं मिलता. Why? Because we don't have dhrida nischay. We have dhrida nischay for all kinds of non-devotional activities. है ना? Movie, shopping, eating out, lots of dhrida nischay. Because sense gratification there is immediate. Instantly movie में मजा आ गया. Instantly खाना was fantastic. Right? Instantly new clothes, new shoes, new purse. है ना? मजा आ गया, क्या बात है. बट भगवद गीता पढ़ने से कोई इंस्टेंट मजा नहीं आता. Right? We cannot see the benefit of reading the Bhagavad Gita immediately. And therefore it's harder for us to be determined to read it every day. In fact, what happens is initial stages में तो we have a lot of uncertainty, we have a lot of doubts कि यार सच्ची में ये मुझे help करेगा क्या, है ना? In the material world, our intellect is controlled by the mind. And the mind wants nothing but instant gratification, instant खुशी. मुझे अभी के अभी मजा आना चाहिए. Right? I have done मेहनत, now I want to enjoy the result. And that is where the entire problem begins. And that's why Krishna has said, Mai arpita mano buddhir. Krishna is saying, look, I understand that your man and buddhi is not under your control. I know you're trying. I know it's very difficult. So you do one thing. Surrender that man and that buddhi to me. And if you do that, yo mad bhakta same priyaha. You become a very, very dear devotee to me. Please realize these verses are so important. That is why in a lot of schools, 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, बच्चों को छोटे छोटे होते हैं तभी से सिखाया जाता है. This is one chapter that we must try and learn by heart. It's only 20 verses. 20 नहीं होता है तो ये last 8 verses we must try and learn by heart. Okay? Krishna is very clearly telling us that these are the qualities I would love to see in you. Alright? Okay. Now verse number 15 please. Yasman no dvijate loko lokan no dvijate chayah arshamarsha bhayodveger mukto yah sachame priyah.
He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me.
Thank you. Yasman nodvijate loko. Udveg. Udvijate means gussa hona, getting very agitated, getting very disturbed, very anxious, right? In this material world, all of us very easily get disturbed in different situations. But here Krishna is saying, I want you to be that person जो उद्वेग में नहीं जाता और जो दूसरों को उद्वेग में नहीं डालता. यस्मान नोद्विजते लोको. He by whom no one is disturbed. Lokan nodvijate chayah. And he is not disturbed by anyone. No one is put into difficulty or anxiety or in a fearful situation by a devotee. Right? Because a devotee is very kind to everyone. He does not act in such a way as to put others in anxiety. And at the same time, when others do something troubling, the devotee does not get anxious. He does not get disturbed. Okay? By the grace of God, he's practiced so well that outwardly he never gets disturbed. Internally he stays focused on God. He does not get disturbed. Right? Prabhupada has written, one's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. There's a chota sa story that you may have heard. There's an elephant that takes a bath in the river, and then Ranganath Swami ji ka jo idols hai, they are put on the elephant, and the elephant is walking in a procession. Okay? Very regal, right? With a lot of band baja. This elephant is taking Ranganath Swami ji ka idols on his back and walking in a procession. Right? What happens? There is a bridge as he's walking, and a dirty pig comes next to him. Okay? The elephant immediately stops. He lets that pig pass by. After the pig goes, the elephant continues his journey. Now this pig is so, his arrogance reaches another level altogether. He goes and he tells everybody, all his friends, ki, look how great I am. Even the elephant is afraid of me. When I was moving, the elephant moved aside and let me pass. Right? The jungle mein baat phailti hai. The other elephants, they come and they ask this friend of theirs, ki, really? You're scared of the dirty pig? The elephant smiles and says, I could have easily crushed that pig under my leg. But I was clean. And I was carrying the purest Ranganath deity on my back. That pig was very, very dirty. Right? If I went to crush that pig, my leg would become dirty, and I wanted to avoid this. That is why I moved aside. That is how we need to be. Right? We should avoid contact with negativity. Not out of fear, but because we want to keep away from that impurity. Right? We know we are strong enough, but why? Why do we want to unnecessarily expose ourselves to these provoking situations? So where we can, discretion is the better part of valor. Right? We don't need to react to every person's opinion, every person's comment, every person's perspective. Right? In every situation, we don't have to give gyan. Right? We have to stop the drama and we have to continue life with whatever works for us. We need to choose our battles very wisely because everything does not deserve our time and attention. Right? So it's a very clear instruction. Don't get agitated by others, and for God's sake, don't get other people agitated. George Bernard Shaw had said, I learned a long time ago never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig loves it. So we have to be very careful. We have to choose our time, where we invest our time, very judiciously. Anyway, Krishna continues, Harsha, Marsha, Bhayod, Veger. Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya, Udveger, Mukto, Ya, Sachame, Priyaha. Read the two lines together. हर्ष मर्ष भय एंड उद्वेग से मुक्त जो हो जाता है, that person is very dear to me. Harsha is happiness, amarsha is distress, bhaya is fear, and udveg is anxiety. So Krishna is saying one who is free, mukta from all of this, that person is very dear to me. Right? When we do bhakti, we start experiencing bliss because we are connected with bliss. Sat Chit Ananda. Since we are connected with that Ananda, we will experience that Ananda, and so we will be free from it. Bhay se mukti. What else is it? And udveg se mukti. Free from fear, free from anxiety. We have to remember Krishna has made so many promises. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Right? Just last week we saw Tesham aham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagara bhavami na chirat partha maya veshata chetasam. Imagine Krishna himself is telling us कि don't worry at all, Partha. Very quickly I will come and I will free you from this cycle of birth and death. So what is the need for bhaya and udveg? Right? I always use the phrase Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will definitely protect me. Right? And when you know that Avashya Rakshibe Krishna, then it helps us become fearless in all situations. As soon as we are convinced that whatever is happening in my life is by the will of Krishna, then Harsha Marsha Bhaya Veter, I am Mukta. Right? So we need to constantly have faith. Shraddha is the foundation of my spiritual life. Okay. Next verse. Verse number 16. Anapeksha shuchir daksha udasino gatavyatha sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha.
My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some results, is very dear to me.
Anapeksha, जिसको कोई अपेक्षा नहीं है, one who has no expectation. So what Krishna is telling us is, do your duty, don't expect anything in return. Second chapter itself he told us, right? One of the most popular verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have a right to perform your duty. You are not entitled to the fruits of your action. Right? So anapeksha. Keep doing your duty. Don't expect anything in return. Anapeksha. Shuchi. Shuchi. Always be clean. Externally and internally. Externally at the bodily level, be clean. Bathe regularly. Eat good sattvic food. Drink clean water. Wear clean clothes. Right? Internally. Man, buddhi, ahankar ko saaf rakho. Mantra meditation, reading the right scriptures, and seva. Do these three things regularly. So, shuchihi, be clean. Daksha. Daksha is a person who's an expert at whatever he does. Right? When you work to the best of your ability, then you're called Daksha. When you give your 100%. So remember in the Ramayana, when that Ram Setu was being constructed, right? When the bridge had to be built. Hanuman, Sugriv, Nal, Neel, all these big guys, right? They were picking up big boulders and helping in building that bridge. That was their ability. And the little squirrel was running up and down with little sand, right? And filling the gaps between the stones. That squirrel was doing its best. So both the squirrel and the great monkeys, all of them are considered Daksha. What is important is that at the end of the day, you should feel that I couldn't have done any better. I gave it my 100%. That is Daksha. Right? So Mataji, used to always tell us, if you're good at making garlands, please make garlands for the deities in the temple. Not just to impress your friends. If you're a good storyteller, then try and use that ability to spread Krishna consciousness, right? So talk about Krishna Katha. If you're good at cooking, then cook prasad for a satsang. If you're good at singing, then sing bhajans. So essentially, all material skills, use them one way or the other in service of the Lord to the best of your ability. Right? In fact, a very inspiring line, you don't have to be an expert to serve Krishna. You simply have to be willing. Krishna will make you an expert. Right? So as far as devotional service goes, you don't have to start off as an expert. But what you have to say is, Krishna, I truly want to do it as a service to you. And if you're able to do that, then Krishna will pick you up and make you an expert. Make sure that that service that you provide will be the best possible service. Right? So we covered Anapeksha, Shuchir, Daksha. Now, Udasino. Uda, Asina. Uda means upar and asan means to sit, right? So literally means sitting on top. So you're not sitting on the right side or the left side. So if there are two people who are having a dispute, then you're not being partial, you're sitting above. You're being extremely fair, you're not taking sides. Right? Pakshapat nahi karna is udasina. Right? I mean, all of us with children experience this, right? It's so important for us to make a very fair decision. Right? That is udasina. Literally sit on top and make a very fair decision about who gets what or who is right and who is wrong. Udasina gata vyathaha. Vyatha is a worry. So gata vyathaha. Give up all your worries. Remember, nothing is in your hands. Rakhe Krishna mare Krishna rakhe ke. If Krishna wants to kill you, nobody can save you. And if Krishna wants to protect you, nobody can hurt you. Have faith. That is the only way to be free from all worries. When you start thinking, I am the doer, right? Then obviously all the worry is yours. When you realize that you're simply an instrument in the hands of Krishna, then no worries. I'm working to the best of my ability. I'm being daksha. And now Krishna is going to decide what needs to be done. Udasina, we did gata vyathaha. Right? Having faith that Krishna is going to take care of everything will keep us free from all kinds of vyatha. Then, sarvarambha parityagi. Very interesting one. Krishna is clearly telling us, ki bas, now that you've taken up this study, now that you've found this new path, now that you've figured out what your ultimate destination is, then sarva arambha parityagi. Give up all new endeavors, all new projects that you were hoping to do for personal sense gratification. Anything that I start with the intention of accumulating more and more for myself, right? That has to be given up. All the excess nonsense that we accumulate, right? All of that is truly an obstacle in the progress of our bhakti. Unnecessary shopping, unnecessary hoarding stuff, unnecessary travel, unnecessary work, right? New projects, new businesses, not required. We can easily manage without all of this. I think all of us went through that pandemic, which taught us a lot, right? We hardly bought anything more than the essentials, and still we had enough. Right? In fact, for me, when I walked in the Dindi for just a few days, 5 days, it was such an eye-opener. Ittu sa bag, that's it. Right? Literally teaches us that jo kapad bhar ke jo cheezein hain, they're all so unnecessary. We can survive comfortably with just one chotu sa bag full of things. Right? Nahi to our lives, we are living like that. Farmer got a wife, wife got a child, child got a dog, right? Dog got a cat, cat got a mouse, blah, blah, blah. So that is how we're currently living our lives. Krishna is saying, Sarvarambha parityagi. Stop chasing these new projects for your own satisfaction. Stop trying so hard and getting more and more and more entangled in Maya. And if you could do that, then yo madbhakta same priyaha. This is the kind of devotee who's very, very dear to me. Right? Balgund Prabhu, when he was teaching us, he said, okay, today when you go home, open your cupboard and get rid of everything that you haven't used in the last 6 months. Right? A lot of us have heard about space clearing, right? Very common practice that everybody tells you. So, and then he said, when you remove this stuff, then you make a promise that you will not buy anything new for 1 year. Okay? All of you must try it. I went home, I cleared out a lot of my cupboard, maybe about 40% of my cupboard, and I went through 1 year. So I went from birthday to birthday not buying anything. And it is such a relief actually. Initially you feel tempted. And then you realize कि यार जब चाहिए ही नहीं तो why am I looking through so many stores and why am I wasting so much time? It is actually so empowering, right? Getting rid of unnecessary in our life is very, very empowering. And it frees up a whole lot of time in our lives. It frees up a lot of time to do what is important. Okay? So let's all try. Let's all try this. At least open your cupboard, what you've not used in the last year. Remove it, give it away. And then see what kind of a relief you will experience. Alright, verse number 17. Yo na rishyati na tveshti, na shochati na kankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhaktimanya same priyaha.
One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor disgusts, and one who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me.
Okay. In this verse, Krishna is literally repeating all the qualities, right? Just imagine how eagerly he wants us to, imbibe these qualities. He's like, bhai, please sun le. These qualities are very, very dear to me. So please isko follow kar. Yo na rishyati na dveshti. Rishyati, बहुत ज़्यादा rejoice करना. Na dveshyati. He does not grieve, he is not envious. Na shochati. He does not शोक नहीं मनाता है he does not lament. Na kankshati. He does not have too many akanshas, too many desires, right? So he does not rejoice at getting new things, right? Yay, I'm so happy I got a new car. I'm over the moon because my son did well, or I'm thrilled because of my promotion at work. No, I'm happy all this happened. I'm very grateful, and I pray that I don't get too affected. I pray that I don't become proud. I don't become egoistic. I pray that I don't get consumed by it all. So should we be happy when something happens in our life? Of course. But don't let that happiness ever make you very, very proud and egoistic. That is the message here. Let happiness bring gratitude. And at the same time, if something that I don't like happens, right, something unpleasant happens, then should I experience hatred? Right? It's okay. I like the house, but it's out of my budget. It's okay. My kid tried and failed in his attempt. Right? It's okay. I missed out on my promotion. I have faith that God knows best, and He is ensuring that only that happens which is currently right for me. So even if I lose, I do not lament. I do not hanker. Make sense? Shubha, ashubha, parityagi. Give up the thought that this is auspicious, this is inauspicious. मैं पुण्य करूंगी, right? मैं पाप नहीं करूंगी. Of course, that is the fundamental line that you should have. But you should not think कि I will do punya because I want to go to heaven. Because punya करोगे तो भी बंधन में फंसोगे. Right? Always remember, I do good because that is the right way to live. I don't do good because I want something in return. I don't have a Satnarayan Puja because I'm aiming to get so and so from Bhagwanji. No. Give up this concept of I'm doing good because I want something from it. Give up the concept of auspicious, inauspicious. Everything is the mercy of Krishna. So when we start seeing God's hand in everything, Bhaktimanya sacha me priyaha. Such a devotee is very, very dear to me. Our thought should be, whatever happens, happens for the best. It is Krishna's will and it is for my purification. Okay? Now there are two verses again. Okay, 18 and 19 together. Samah shatrau cha mitre cha तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु समः संगविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर् भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः. This verse is talking about all the dualities, and Krishna is telling us right here that all dualities come to you only because you're in the material world. A wise person will understand that all of this is passing. ये सब वक्त का खेल है. Miseries come, they stay for a short time and they go away. Similarly, happiness comes, stays for a little time and goes away. Nothing is permanent. So don't get trapped by these dualities. Second chapter again, Krishna had already explained this. Agama apaino anityas. It comes, it goes. It is not permanent. All we need is tam stitikshasva bharata. We need to be tolerant. Right? So look at this verse. First set of opposites. Shatru, Mitra. Krishna is saying, Sama shatrau cha mitre cha. Be equal with an enemy or a friend. Right? Drupad and Dronacharya. Both of them started off their lives as best of friends. Mitra. Soon what happened? They became sworn enemies. Shatru. Life is like that. So Krishna is telling us, please treat everyone with the same samabhav. Right? Avoid dualities. He says similarly, man and apman. Right? Have the same response to honor and to dishonor. Don't get crazily affected by either of it. Man mila, thank you Krishna. Apman mila, I tried my best Krishna. Right? So, first set of dualities, Shatru, Mitra. Second one, Man, Apman. Third one, Shita, Ushna. In heat and cold, summer will pass, winter will come. Winter is not going to stay forever either. This too shall pass. Right? And then, Sukha, Dukkha, be sama. In happiness and in distress, be the same. Ramakrishna Paramahans, he got cancer of his throat. And people said, Are, you're such a great devotee of Kali Mata, pray to her, she will cure you. And he says, mad or what? I'm in love with that beautiful mother of mine. Why would I start focusing on this dirty body? Body to jana hi hai. Let me just continue being in love with Kali Mata. Right? I don't want to focus on this body that is anyways something that has to die. Right? What God has willed, let it happen. And then Krishna said, Sangha Vivarjitaha. This is very, very important if we want to be able to progress in bhakti. Sangha. Sangha is association, the people that we associate with regularly. So obviously there are two types of Sangha in our material world. There is Sat Sangha and there is Ku Sangha. Sat Sang, something that is favorable. Right? If I want to excel at tennis, then I need to hang out with good tennis players. I need to have the best tennis coach. I need to, watch all the tennis matches that happen. I have to maintain that sang. Only then I can excel. Similarly, if I want to progress in my spiritual life, then I have to be in that satsang, in that group of people that have the same desire. If I hang out with people whose entire mind is focused on the material world, then that becomes unfavorable association for me. Please remember, I'm not saying that these are bad people. It's just that these people will not help me go ahead too far in my journey. Right? I have to pick my journey. It's like I want to go to Mumbai, so I will take the train that takes me to Mumbai. If I get on a train that takes me to Delhi, I will just go in the opposite direction. The train is not bad. People are not bad. I need to pick based on my destination. Right? So people who will help take my mind towards God. people who will help take my mind away from the material world, in this particular case, are my satsanga. Right? Okay. Tulya ninda stutir mauni. Be equal when somebody does ninda and when somebody does stuti. Ninda is when somebody criticizes us. Stuti is when somebody praises us. So be equal in both cases. This is very interesting quote. It says, those who praise themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be praised. Please keep this in mind. This is a fundamental line that all of us have to know. है ना? Those who praise themselves will be humbled. Those who humble themselves will be praised. वो तुकाराम का एक बहुत अच्छा वर्स है. निंदकाचे घर असावे शेजारी. A nindak, a critic, should live next to your house. Right? Because when that critic is around, he's constantly watching over us and he keeps bursting our bubble. He keeps poking at our ego. And that actually helps us. It helps us become the absolute best at whatever we are doing. Right? Because we're trying to make sure that we don't give that critic a chance to open his mouth. You know? For most of us, those critics are in the house. And homegrown. So it's a very good thing. Next time you get criticized, please realize that it actually helps you become a better version of yourself. And the next quality, mauni. Please remain silent. Mauni does not mean कि हमने मौन व्रत ले लिया है. It means we don't speak nonsense. We don't go and try explaining to people who are not interested in listening. Right? So mauni essentially means speak where it is going to be valued. You know? Don't sit having these फालतू का debates with people. Somebody comes up to you and says, क्या तुम बकवास पढ़ते रहते हो? Say, okay. You know? Don't sit and try and explain katha to somebody who is not interested in that katha. Right? The main role of our speech, right, is for us to use it now in Bhagwan ka naam rupa guna leela. So use that tongue correctly. That is called maun. Okay? So mauni does not mean I will not speak. It means that I will speak sense. Okay? Alright. What else is this? Santushto yena kenachit. Again, Krishna is repeating this quality. I am satisfied with just about everything that I get. Right? Krishna is emphasizing. Be satisfied in whatever situation I have kept you in, because that is what is my desire. Right? As we start walking on this path, we should start getting rid of the unnecessary in our life. We should start coming down to the bare necessities that are required. Everything excess will destroy our spiritual growth. मालिक इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुंब समाए. कबीर जी ने बोला है, मालिक इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुंब समाए. मैं भी भूखा न रहूं, साधु न भूखा जाए. भगवान जी, give me enough कि my bodily needs are met, my family's bodily needs are met. And when a sadhu comes to my door, I have enough to give to him also. Itna dijiye. Lekin anything more than that becomes a problem. Rashmi, you have something to say? Nahi? Okay, galti se. Right? So, what is required, Bhagwan Ji will always provide. Anything in excess pulls us away from our spiritual growth. Okay, so always, Kabir Ji has such beautiful dohas. In fact, even Tukaram, right? These are beautiful things to keep reading on the side. Anyways, next quality. Aniketa. Very, very important. We are all so attached to our homes, to our cities, right? Aniketaha. Niketan is the place where we live, right? Our homes, our residence. And Krishna is saying, Aniket. Don't get attached to your place of residence. जग में ऐसे रहो जैसे धर्मशाला में यात्री रहता है. Live in this world like a traveler, like a yatri. You know कि I'm here for a few days and after my yatra is over, I have to vacate this dharamshala. I may check into a 5-star, a 7-star. But once my holiday is over, I need to vacate that space. So do we get very attached to it? No. While we are there, we enjoy it. Do we get attached to it? No. Then why do we get attached to our homes? We have to constantly realize that our current homes are also a temporary dwelling place. No earthly home can be a permanent residence for us because we are Jivatma. Right? So definitely at the time of death, we need to leave this place behind. So don't get attached to your homes. Aniketa. And then Sthiramatir. Be convinced of everything that the scriptures are saying. Sthira Matir. Mati is your intelligence. So let your intelligence now become steady. Now that you've read so much about the Bhagavad Gita, you've come to the end of the 12th chapter. Now let your intelligence understand that He is the Supreme Lord and I am a part and parcel of Him. Don't ever doubt that. Now let your faith get cemented. Be sure that if I surrender to Him, then काम हो गया मेरा यहाँ का. I will achieve the highest realization. Right? So from now on, फालतू की डाउट्स ड्रॉप करो. डाउट्स है तो पूछ लेना ताकि वो सॉल्व हो जाए. So that our intelligence becomes steady. And Krishna says, if we do all of this, bhaktiman me priyo naraha. This kind of bhakta is very, very dear to me. That gets us to the last verse. Let's give it 5 minutes so we end the chapter. Please repeat. Ye tu dharmamritamidam yathoktam pariyupasate Shraddhana mat parama bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. So what Krishna is saying, Arjun, what I have just spoken is dharma ka amrut. Highlight that word. Ye tu dharmamrutamidam. Dharma ka amrut. The nectar of all dharma. What all dharma is supposed to do is bring these qualities in you. Right? I have full faith that these are the qualities that you are now going to start imbibing in yourself. If you have faith in everything that Krishna has said, if you accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and if you work on the path that He has prescribed, then you become very, very dear to Krishna. Krishna has literally spelt out every quality that will bring us closer to Him. I'm sure all of you have heard very attentively, but please remember, hearing is not enough. We need to convert this jnana to vidnyan. Okay? So we need to start by reciting this chapter regularly, at least the last 8 verses, with attention to the meaning of each word. If we know Marathi, then most of these words are very, very simple to understand. Right? We don't even need very complicated language skills. Simple words these are. We need to start imbibing these spiritual qualities in us. Why? Because we're part of Krishna. We have these qualities inside of us. They are dormant. When we keep repeating it, dharma amrit. है ना? Amrit निकालने के लिए also they had to do manthan. So we need to do manthan inside our hearts and bring out that amrit, that nectar of religion. So Krishna is trying to awaken all these spiritual qualities in us. So please do make a sincere effort. Remember, Krishna sees the effort, not the result. Grantha Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you all for joining. Om Tat Sadati Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Bhakti Yogo Nama Dvadashodhyayah. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So we completed the 12th chapter. Now we have only 1/3 of the Bhagavad Gita left. Thank you all for staying with me on this journey.